Good time of day, guys. My name is Godzi, and welcome back to another bonus episode of Corpse Party Blood Drive. Last episode, we completed EX Chapter 3, which followed Shimada trying to get one over on Kazami, and it was good fun. And now we're in the middle of EX Chapter 4, which I'm not gonna lie is very boring so far. And I do not care about this candy subplot. So, oh, Magari. Okay, maybe this is interesting now. Okay. She owns the place? Should I even... Oh, our server is Waldo Mizuki, Magari's butler. Okay. So does this matter? Does any of this matter? Is it just showing their dynamic that they were, like, enemies? They're just fucking chatting. I don't care. I don't know what's happened to the candy subplot, but I'm sorry. This chapter's long and boring, and I don't want to read it. So I'm going to skip through it, and we're going to move on. However long it takes holding down fucking R1. Or on my Switch Pro controller, R. Are they sexually assaulting people now? Okay, now they're eating. And now Sayaka's whining. Please be the end. Guarantee that would have taken like 25 minutes to read through. And it does not look like I missed anything at all important. Is it still fucking going? Jesus Christ. How much did they have to fucking write on this shit? Holy shit. And they took a photo. Let me guess, it's the same photo from fucking beforehand, right? Is this really, like... Did this much flash before Aiko's eyes? Before she somehow escaped from Inumaru? I thought this chapter would be about how she did escape from Inumaru. But no, it's just a fucking insanely long flashback that I do not care about. Just nothing but anime tropes. Oh, okay, now they're taking another photo. And it's going to be that photo. Yep, same photo. Alright, thanks for the lore on that photo that showed up 3 times during the main game. Is the chapter over? Okay. I'll read from here. This might be interesting, but we'll see. Naho's face turning red and Sayaka's smiling gleefully. 2 beautiful, endlessly expressive images gone forever. That day almost feels like a dream now. The funny thing is, nothing of note had really even happened. We just ate a whole lot of sweets, talked for a long time, very long time, very long time, absurdly long time, and took sticker photos. All told, we'd only spent a few hours with each other. Only, huh? Was that entire chapter every interaction you've ever had with them? Jesus. Just a few wild hours messing around after school one day. But those days are never coming back. Naho and Sayaka were now dead. and their deaths triggered an intense despair, hatred, and sheer insanity within Haruyuki, all of which was directed squarely at me. That day, we were all laughing together. Where had things gone wrong? Somewhere along the line, somebody must have made some kind of mistake. Yeah, going to fucking Heavenly Host. But who? Is it my fault? No, it's Naho's. Cannot forgive, will never forgive. For how long this chapter is, let me bash your skull in already. Completely forgot he's there. I had to apologize. Both to the girls who'd already died and to the person who had gone mad right in front of my eyes. I'm sorry. Ah! Oh, finally, the chapter end music. I couldn't even get the whole word out. The sheer depths of his rage bore into my skull, and out I went like a light. But I only got knocked out when I woke up 20 minutes later. Alright, bye. That chapter sucked. Wow. Okay. Oh, achievement unlocked, Wisdom. You skipped through the boring chapter. Good job. I can't believe I got an achievement for that. Alright, EX Chapter 5. Please be more interesting and shorter. Threading the Needle. Oh great, a Magari chapter. In the depths of the Martuba's Tomb HQ, in a storage room stacked high with books to rival any libraries, I was hard at work researching my mark, squatting on the ground to read the books I'd spread out before me. The Book of Shadows originally belonged to Martuba's tomb, right? So where's all the info on its roots? Achoo! Ugh, it's so dusty in here. I hit the shelf behind me with my back when I sneezed, and after a couple seconds had passed, a fairly heavy book fell from above, landing right on my spine. Yeesh. Ow! Damn it, what the hell? Put the shit away right next time, you fuckers! I observed the fallen tome, which had serendipitously opened to a photo that looked an awful lot like the very book I was seeking. Before I could read the associated passages, however, a member of the Order appeared and gave me a stiff salute. Mistress Magari of the Second Degree, we have completed our analysis of the Ever After Stones. Their spiritual composition shows a nominal 83% accuracy to the originals. Okay, good work. Those are the stones I swiped from Aiko Niwa, though, right? You assholes better not have replicated the damn things without my consent. We would never! Ha ha! Chapter end music already? Okay, thanks. Fine then. Just remember, this is my prey. Anyone who gets in my way will be eliminated. Martuba or otherwise. Are you joking? What was the point of that? You could have put that in the fucking game, or like, that was literally like 2 minutes? What the fuck? Alright, EX Chapter 6. Separation. Oh, okay. Hinoe and Misuto, I can get behind this, maybe? I remember I was leaning against the wall in a small basement room with indirect lighting, and Hinoe was sitting in a chair across the room from me, holding a coffee mug. A beautiful silver bracelet on her left wrist that you can't see in her sprite caught the light, sparkling majestically. Thank goodness the test results were negative, at least. I swear to you, Hinoe, I'll track down every member of the team that assaulted you and tear them to fucking ribbons. Those pieces of shit have no reason to live. They don't deserve to breathe the same air as us. All they do is mass-produce little fuckers just like themselves. God damn it! This world just needs to die! And I'm gonna crush it myself, with my own 2 hands! Misuto? Hinoe's tone of voice was calm and soothing. She was trying to bring me back from the rage that had consumed me. When I was younger, I used to think much the same way. I couldn't do anything but suffer, and no one was ever there to help me. I felt like even my friends had betrayed me. I truly wish that, outside of my family, everyone in the entire world would just drop dead. I was a sophomore in junior high at the time. I still think that way. And I did too, for a long time. But then I grew up. And I realized that I'd met and become good friends with so many different people in just those few short years. And I was glad to have those people in this world. I was glad to know they were alive. So please know that you'll regret it. If you end everything based on how you feel at one single moment in time, your tale won't come to a happy end like a regular story should. Yeah, that reads very well, knowing how he ends up dying. Oh, shut up. My ideology comes from all the crap I've had to live through. This is no junior high grudge. I want to see those who terrorize the weak get what's coming to them from the people they hurt, says the guy who kidnapped Yuka. There's no hesitation at all in your ideals, is there? I'm rather envious of that. Hinoe closed her eyes and smiled. She then drew her knees into her chest and wrapped her arms around them, contemplating something. Hinoe, I don't think I can be with someone like you. Don't cry, Hinoe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Come on, it's okay. I'm so sorry. Hinoe buried her head in her hands and began to cry. You don't need to apologize. We separated that day due to irreconcilable differences in our personal philosophies. And that's around when I began working toward what I felt was my destiny, the Purge. And yeah, I did it. I chose a highly populated area and killed a lot of people. And it didn't even bother me, because they were all just pieces of human waste, polluting the world. What the fuck? This chapter's short as hell too, great. My headless corpse now lay in the heavenly host Nirvana. A silver bracelet dimly glinting upon its wrist. Are you fucking kidding? Okay, I guess the game retroactively heard my fucking bitching about chapter 4 being way too long. Because that was short as hell. A little longer than the other one. And definitely more interesting, but I don't know. I'd like a little bit more backstory. Like interactions between Hinoe and Misuto. Though, I guess, short and sweet. That wasn't so bad. I mean, compared to everything else, it's like, what, the third best so far? EX Chapter 1 was definitely the best. EX Chapter 3 is second best because it was funny. And I guess 6 is third by default. 4 is still the worst. Alright, 7. Satsuki's heart. Okay, Satsuki lore. I don't have any clear memories of my childhood. But I do remember my parents being kind. Aren't you in middle school? Whatever you are. It was dusk, and the room was completely unlit. It was so dark inside that we could have been entertaining guests and I'd never have known it, because I never have been able to see them. I felt alone, but knew I wasn't, and I was determined to get my mom's attention. Mom, I'm hungry. Assuming she hadn't moved since the sun had started setting, my mom was probably still sitting at her small kitchen table, leaning her elbows on it and cradling her forehead. This was the third time I'd informed her of my desire to eat. And finally, this time, I could hear her start to move at the sound of my voice. Though this was my home, it had always just felt like an empty void to me. And now, it was more than just a feeling. I noticed my voice was echoing a lot more than it ever used to. All of our furniture was mysteriously disappearing, day in and day out. Yesterday was the toaster. The day before was the piano. The day before that was our chest of drawers. And today was... Dad? Where had Dad gone, I wondered. Mom? Mom's shadow moved slightly, silhouetted in a shade of black, only slightly different from the rest of the blackness around me. She extended her arm in my direction. I'm sorry, Satsuki. Her tone, like the house itself, was dark. Maybe it just sounded that way because of the general mood in the room. Hopefully that's all it was, I thought. Mom! The lights won't turn on! I'm sorry, Satsuki. Suddenly my field of vision shook violently and my surroundings began flitting by like shooting stars. Flashes of light were whizzing to and fro as the barely discernible ceiling pattern above me was phasing in and out of existence. The legs of the table I was sitting at began to melt away. I saw Mom's face for a moment, and then there was this strange march of frying pans flying through the air. Which was especially strange, since we only owned one frying pan. That's also what I'm thinking when I'm getting pelted in the face with frying pans. My entire face began to swell and go into convulsions, and my ears were howling and ringing. I could barely hear anything anymore. The areas under my nose and ears were all wet and cold as well. Was that snot? Earwax? What was I feeling? Satsuki! I'm sorry! I'm so sorry! See? Whenever this happened, Mom would always hang back and rest her head for a bit, but would then hug me with the kindest, warmest, most sickeningly sweet embrace. That's why I love them. I love frying pans. I love what they represent to me. I'm sorry, dear, but this is all I have. Mom gave me some potato chips. They weren't exactly my favorite brand, so their flavor was kinda iffy, but it's the thought that counts, right? There were cartons and cartons of potato chip bags all throughout our house, and they were all for me. I was the only one who really ate them. And whenever I did, Mom would always seem to be a little happier for some reason. So frying pans were my favorite objects, and potato chips were my favorite food. Satsuki, in 3 days, you have a very important role to fulfill. A role? What's a role? It's something joyous. You're to be reborn through the incomparable wisdom of the Archbishop. You'll be one rank higher than ordinary humans. You say to a 12-year-old. Okay, school. Alright. Satskin! What's up? I'm assuming it's supposed to be Satsukine, probably. But whatever. Ah, Mizuhara. This was Haruhi Mizuhara. I'd known her since grade school. I still wasn't sure how to react when someone called out to me though, so I just stared at her blankly. What is it? Well, aren't you Miss Gloomy again today? Can't you at least give me a what's up every now and again? Whatever, Satsukine. This weekend, we have to hit up land. We can't just keep talking about it and not go. I can't do weekends. I have meetings. For crying out loud, why not leave all that religion crap to your parents? You at least want to go with me, don't you? I know that face. I know it well. I know how much you love those Maki pants that I bought you from there. I do want to go, but... Ignore your parents, girl. Ditch them. Give them the heave-ho. Mizuhara was genuinely really funny. She had a certain sense of timing about her that made it hard for me not to get sucked in. I didn't usually laugh as a rule, but this girl could really bring it out of me. Honestly, wouldn't it be nice if people could pick and choose their parents? You could be so bright and cheery if you weren't always cooped up in Darksville. Plus, you got a good pair on you. Okay. Did they say... I saw that. Okay, Yup. Okay. That's a fucking reference that middle schoolers in a game released in 2012 probably... Well, no, because I was in middle school in 2012. What year did Blood Drive come out? And I'm not talking Steam. I'm gonna Google it real quick, because who knows how long this chapter will be. I'm on my phone, and it always takes a minute for the search bar to open. And then it always auto-selects one of the prompts I already fucking put. Corpse, party, blood drive, release date, not PC, not Switch, just the original release date. You fucking ass. 2014. Okay, so I was like coming out of middle school, I think, in that year. Because I graduated in 2019, so... Yeah, this was the summer that I was done with middle school. They'd probably know that reference then. Anyways. Later that day, Mizuhara had gotten into a car accident on her way home from school. Her jaw had shattered on impact, preventing her from smiling again. Wow. Since then, she hadn't come to school a single time. Hi, Magari. You must be Satsuki. It's nice of you to come. You're such a good girl. Despite your young age, you show a firm grasp of reason and understand the nobility of self-sacrifice. You truly are a wonder. I was brought to this suspicious place through some magic that obviously leaned a bit on the dark side. I remember I was really cold here, since I was wearing nothing but a thin black robe. Following her parents' orders without talking back at all. She must be a very good child indeed. This was the headquarters of Martuba's tomb. I was in a room lined with terrifying-looking devices, and everyone around me was dressed in similar robes, listening intently, almost passionately, to their leader's voice. My mind was a blank slate. I had a slight smile on my face, but I didn't want to make eye contact, so I just focused all my attention on a random piece of floor. Yes, Mistress Magari. Our child truly is most honest and obedient. As you can see, we'll do anything we can to be of use to the Order. Anything at all. Is that so? Then how about you pay your fucking dues for a change? I wonder if you could even guess how many times you've defaulted. Yes, mistress. Satsuki, my pawn. Do you accept this fate of your own volition? I gave an empty smile and turned my gaze lazily toward the corner of the ceremony room. What I saw there gave me a sudden chill, though I did my best not to show it. Sticking out from a massive earthenware pot was Harue's face, thoroughly bloodied and with eyes rolled back into her skull. Oh, okay, so she's also dead. Ignore your parents, girl! Ditch 'em! Streams of drool and blood alike had stained her lifeless chin. She appeared very much as if she had literally just been thrown away, like yesterday's garbage. Satsuki, my pawn. What's it to be? The parents of those who accept this fate will be granted a powerful position within our holy order. The room fell silent, no doubt anxiously awaiting my response. I'd been trying my hardest to swallow my emotions, but there are just some feelings a person can't suppress, and one of them made its way up from my heart and out of my mouth. I don't want to die, Mistress Magari! It was accompanied by a sudden flurry of tears, and my parents immediately began to show signs of extreme panic on their faces. They looked at me as if I'd just committed the greatest affront known to man. They were afraid, but also disgusted. Their stares were cold and accusatory. This is a transformation experiment, right? I don't want that! Alright. This simple affirmative statement was followed by one quick flick of the wrist, and suddenly my parents were now missing the upper halves of their bodies. Oh, lovely. Gah. It required almost no effort. My parents each now lay in two pieces, making a squishy, slimy, awful sound as they died. That's just what I was hoping for from you, Satsuki. Live on for your friend Mizuhara. You can live under me. I'll take you in as my pet. I'll even prepare replacement parents for you. Okay, so she was supposed to stand up for herself?
Now then, let the spiritual surgery begin!
I am Satsuki Mizuhara. Oh. That's why the name Mizuhara sounded familiar. I was like, Mizuhara, isn't there a character in this game already named Mizuhara? But I completely forgot that that's literally Satsuki's name, because I wasn't thinking about it, because... And I have just been born on this day. Okay, so what, they combined her with Haruhi? Huh? I need more info. Okay. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. EX Chapter 8. There it is. I figured there'd be an 8th one. Achievement unlocked, Reignition. Alrighty. Whatever that means. Alright, this looks like it's probably the last one, so wow, this was... I thought I would end up having a 4th bonus episode, but no. I mean, I would've had I actually read the rest of EX Chapter 4, but I did not care to. Alright, let's do this. This is probably the last episode, Jesus Christ. EX Chapter 8. Reignition. Oh, it's called Reignition. Nice. Is this about Magari, or is this a sequel to that?
After Ayumi Shinozaki sealed away the Nirvana...
Oh, this is an epilogue? Or this is after the events of the game? Gee, how do you remember her name?
After Ayumi Shinozaki sealed away the Nirvana, those who lost their lives at Heavenly Host Elementary were able to exist in this world once again. But the dead can never truly be brought back to life.
How again did Aiko and Inumaru remember Naho and Sayaka then?
The entity walls in the Nirvana may be gone, but they left massive chasms in the earth and countless casualties in their wake. Plus, according to Satoshi Mochida, Quan Niwa and all the students who took the place of his formerly existence-less friends in this world have now been erased in their stead.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there were students who took the place of, like, Seiko and the others. I thought it was just like they rewrote history or something without those 4 and anyone else who died there. So then who fucking replaces Naho and Sayaka and all that? Jeez.
Though Quan Niwa's existence isn't entirely gone, she still somehow exists in memory as Aiko Niwa's sister. And while they don't exactly remember how or why this came to be, Perfect Life is now short one CEO and has fallen into total chaos trying to find and train a replacement.
We are shamans. We have witnessed the entirety of history. When Queen Himiko fell during the Yamataikoku, we were there. When the wall fell during the Eastern European Revolution, we were there. We hath been resurrected time and time again, standing proud as the eras shift. We, and we alone, have moved this world. Praise, for we resurrect here again, a pleasing omen of the Earth's newest impending shift. Oh god, that's a word I've never heard of. Unguerdoned souls, thou hast failed in thy past life, and must now bear witness to our revolution. Oh! This is our gospel. Behold the child. Last night a miracle was born unto our order. The mother be not known, but of birth at such an age. 'Tis surely the second coming of God. This child has the potential. This child shall one day grow to be our successor. Let us all praise this child. Oh! Once the cleanup efforts from the Nirvana incident had more or less become old news, I decided to pay the order a visit and see what was up.
Damn, this place sure went south. It's been forever since I last came here. But look at this place. Damage everywhere, holes in the walls and floors, a neglected flag slanted on its pole. A mess all around.
Mistress Magari! I'm pleased you've come back to us safely.
One of the few remaining members, and there were so many before. Wonder where they all disappeared to.
They died, didn't you know that?
Not that I should have ever trusted them to keep their shit together in the first place when the apocalypse came knocking. I was kind of mad at myself for being surprised at all. Don't know who this person is, but he's looking at me kind of nervously. Where's the founder? Well... When one of several entity walls sprouted near the Order's HQ, our founder apparently panicked and fell down the stairs and died. Wow, okay. So is the reason there are so few members now because everybody died?
Mostly. There were several others who ran away in fear as well.
Even among the elites?
I'm afraid so.
I turned around and walked out of the room. The springs creaked and groaned as I tossed about in my bed. What the fuck was the point devoting my life to the Martubas? I got up and jumped right back down onto the mattress once more. I wanted to break the fucking thing. All the shit I did! Badump. The whole purpose behind my existence! Badump. Was all for nothing! I swam the bed repeatedly with my fists and the springs rocked back and forth vigorously. This whole fucking time, I've done everything on my own ever since I was abandoned. And when Waldo took me in, I thought I'd finally found my reason to live. I got where I am today by never losing to anyone. But now, there's no one left. They're all fucking gone. My eyes were red and I was out of breath. As I threw my tantrum, a familiar figure stepped through my bedroom door carrying a tray.
Welcome back, madame. I brought you some milk tea.
I got up and threw myself at Waldo with every last bit of force my muscles could push. Instantly, I was bawling. Chapter on me. Dude, why are all these last chapters so short?
Madame.
Waldo was old and wise. He was my rock in all of this. Waldo, I want you to promise me something. Don't you ever, ever leave me. You got that?
Of course.
He smiled at me. This order needs to be rebuilt, and I'm going to be the one to rebuild it. I'm going to make it better than ever. Come on, we've got a lot of work to do.
But of course, madame.
Okay. What, is that meant to set up for whatever Corpse Party 2 is? Which I do know exists, but I've heard it's literally incomplete. So, that's not coming anytime soon. Alright, shit, I guess we beat the whole fucking game. Unless there's some wrong endings that are interesting, but I never got any comments about it. So hey, since we're only at the 30-minute mark, how about, well shit, actually, I would need to pull it up on my phone, because I forgot I'm screen recording, but I can do that real quick. Let's go to Corpse, let me spell it right, Corpse Party, Blood Drive, Wiki. And I will look at the wrong endings that I did not get. Hey, the second result is Blood Drive endings. Nice. Convenient. Convenient. It wasn't found? The page wasn't found. Okay, let me find it a different way. Maybe the link is just broken. Okay, Corpse Party fandom wiki. Fandom probably sucks ass to navigate on phone, but whatever. I mean, if it loads slow like this, I can get to the endings real quick. Yep, found it. Endings. Loading. Corpse Party Blood Drive endings. Alright. So, yeah. Chapter 0. We have nothing until Wrong End 2 of Chapter 3. Yep, there's one of the giant banner ads. Alright. So, Chapter 1. Chapter 2.
Chapter 3, Pain. Okay. What is this fucking... Okay. I got a whole fucking ad. Okay, so... Wrong End 2. Because I got Wrong End 1, right? Ayumi encounters a spirit in the classroom who had her back towards her. The spirit then suddenly turns around screaming. Ayumi attempts to run from the spirit but fails as the spirit kills her. I do remember getting that. That wasn't very interesting. Okay. So Wrong End 2. Ayumi gets trapped in the girls' bathroom as a large amount of blood starts pouring out of the sink. Oh, around then. Okay. The pool of blood rapidly rises as Ayumi struggles to stay afloat. She hears a priest in the distance as she calls out for help from Yoshiki. She then hears the voice of Sachiko, who appears underneath the rising pool of blood. Sachiko calls out to Ayumi, telling her to swim toward her. However, Ayumi fails to reach Sachiko and instead drowns. Run out of time when following Sachiko. Okay. Alright, so that's not very interesting. Chapter 4 then. So I got the true end, and I got Wrong End 2. So Wrong End 1. Fail to escape from the anatomical model. As Yoshiki and Ayumi fail to escape from the anatomical model, it lifts Yoshiki up by the throat and begins to strangle him. As Ayumi tries to save him, she is grabbed by the anatomical model as well. The anatomical model then slams them both into one another repeatedly at high speed until they are reduced to nothing but clumps of meat. That's a bit interesting, I guess. Alright, Wrong End 2 I already got, which was from the dog statue. Wrong End 3, get attacked by the ghost. What ghost? Several ghosts appear surrounding Ayumi and Yoshiki and proceed to attack them. Oh, in the art room? Ayumi pulled back her arm and looked at the hot purplish red spot where the ghost had just touched her. Ayumi fell to her knees because of the excruciating pain in her arm as her body begins to corrode and fall apart, and it just reloaded the page. You ass. Fucking fandom, I swear. Okay. Her body begins to corrode and fall apart at an alarming rate before she finally dies. Okay. Wrong End 4. Fail to escape from the pillar and get pulled into it. I'm guessing this is the gym one. As Ayumi has just retrieved the pillar, several human hands, she fails to escape and sand gets into her eyes and mouth, preventing her from breathing. The pillar continuously pulls her in while the sand's weight crushes her ribs and collapses her lungs. Wrong End 5. Get drawn into the tentacled beast at the swimming pool. Okay. The tentacles impale Ayumi until they protrude through Ayumi's chest multiple times. The creature eventually impales Yoshiki as well. Okay. Fail to stay alive for 60 seconds from the Red Helm's attacks. That's what they're called, Red Helms? Okay. So just get hit by the axes until you die, basically. That's all the description is. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, there's 6 wrong ends. Okay, Chapter 5 wrong ends. Wrong End 1, Yoshiki is held down by Azusa. Okay, and is slowly strangled to death. No text appears describing the death, and a wrong end screen appears as the screen begins to turn red. Okay, do not shake off Azusa with the X button when she grabs you at the entrance. Okay, Wrong End 2. That's a long description. Requirements: select open the door while hiding inside the wooden locker directly north of the entrance, or allow Azusa or the anatomical model to deplete your HP to 0. Okay. The groans of the model can be heard from beyond the door. Azusa begins sniffing the air, talking coherently, referring to Yoshiki as Mr. Knight. She claims to be controlled by a demon and begins sobbing and sniffling as she bangs the door of the locker Yoshiki is hiding in. Something inside Yoshiki makes him want to believe her, and he opens the door. An upside-down Azusa is seen grinning at him as she says, "Mr. Knight, I found you," and it just reloaded the page. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, at least there's not that many more that I have to go through. Alright. Alright. So basically, Azusa kills you, and Wrong End 3. That's also a long description. Select ignore her when asked, do as Miss Kwan says. I don't remember the context of this. After hearing Ayumi's voice... Oh! Ayumi's head. Okay. She winces at these accusations, causing Satoshi to call out to her. She tells him not to enter the classroom. After disobeying her, Satoshi sees Ayumi's disembodied head and screams. Drawing Naomi into the room, both scream. Kwan orders them to leave. However, the door slams shut. Pale hands reach up from the floor and reach for Satoshi. Something bad! As Kwan calls both students towards her, her head explodes. Alright. Naomi screams and Ayumi's head cackles delightedly. A shadowy figure is seen in the hallway with a massive axe, but neither student has time to ponder its existence. Naomi, who had fainted, is suddenly lifted up out of Satoshi's reach. muffled voice of a priest is heard. Naomi screams horrifically before exploding into pieces. Satoshi screams and cowers against the door. Massive axe splits both him and the door right down the middle. The only sound left is the sound of Ayumi's head laughing to itself. Alright, chapter 6 has one wrong end. Select step away from the mirror, try shaking off Sachi, or let the invisible selection timer run out. Okay. Does she just get hit, basically? As Ayumi looks into the mirror, the Argus Cube is okay, you have the choice. If you select step away from the mirror or let it run out, Sachi in the mirror swings her hatchet at Ayumi in the mirror. Ayumi grunts and her neck splits open, spilling out a fountain of blood. Sachi proceeds to hack away at the mirror, mirror Ayumi's neck, widening the cut she made from earlier until it severs her head from her shoulders. As her head rolls across the floor, the sounds of fluids, blah blah blah. Her vision goes blurry, a figure approaches her, crouches down. It's a bloodstained Naomi with a happy smile on her face. What? If you select try shaking off Sachi, the same thing will happen, but Ayumi will turn around and swipe at the empty air behind her and will observe Sachi swings from the corner of her eye as opposed to staring in the mirror. Okay, and then 1, 3, and 5 in chapter 9 I did not get. Wrong end 1. Enter the hole in the top left of the classroom with the 3 hanging corpses. Okay. A witch trial commencing above her where a preacher, man, and woman accuse a village girl of being a witch. Ayumi tells them to stop. They surround the hole she was speaking out from, drag her out, accuse her of being a witch, knock her out. Stab her with a silver knife, slides into her hands as she tries to shield herself. Her arms give out, knife pierces her throat. She chokes on her own blood. The man stabs her over and over again in the throat, killing Ayumi and leading to the wrong end. Okay, I got wrong end 2. That was just from the fucking black fog. Yep, wrong end 3. Swing the axe in front of the corpse on the left. After cutting down the corpse, the remaining one's eyes light up. Surprised, Ayumi flinches and the corpse she cut down stands up. She falls backwards as it attacks her. The sound of beating followed by tearing meat is then heard. Was the fucking corpse puzzle something I got right on accident then? Jeez. Okay, wrong end 4 is just get squished by the walls. Wrong end 5. After selecting an item other than sharp rock, Naomi exclaims that she can't do anything and panics. As the others try to pull Yuka off of Satoshi's back, she remains stunned by what is happening. Satoshi's pain face scares her, but her eyes are locked on it. Yuka's fingers sting into Satoshi's throat, squeezed with strength unbelievable. He foams at the mouth. His hands begin to spasm. Yuka continues to strengthen his grip. Bones break. Satoshi's body ceases to function. Someone calls Satoshi's name. The one's desperately trying to pull Yuka off of Satoshi collapses from exhaustion and despair, but even then Yuka continues to squeeze his throat. Skin tears, muscle fibers snap, and warm blood spills out of Satoshi's neck. Dying, Yuka's hands crimson. She continues to squeeze his neck like a rag. As snot and tears run down her face, blood vessels are popped up on her face, which displays an unnatural smile. Satoshi's head is removed from his body. Blah, blah, blah. Her eyes are pointed at Naomi. Okay, so presumably that happens again. And then wrong end 4 of chapter 10. Because wrong end 1... Wrong end 1, select kill me or don't choose any option. That was from Inamaru. Wrong end 2, lose the battle without landing a single blow. Really? That's a thing? Wrong end 3, lose the battle against Queen after you'd hit her. And wrong end 4, oh, after win the battle against Queen with 0 remaining spirit. Oh, okay. After successfully sealing the Queen, Ayumi returns to find Satsuki standing alone in a pool of blood. Shit, okay, so you're supposed to win with basically more than 1 HP. Okay, it just fucking fucked up the page again. Okay. After sealing the Queen, Ayumi returns to find Satsuki standing alone in a pool of blood. As she sniffles and sobs to herself, Ayumi calls out to her and asks where everyone is. Satsuki rapidly begins licking her lips in a manner unnatural for a human being. Ayumi talks to Satsuki again, to which Satsuki only replies by chewing on something. Ayumi, gradually becoming more panicked, asks Satsuki about the pool of blood. Suddenly a voice comes from behind her. It's Magari, but only the top half of her remains. The lower half looks like it's been bitten off by some wild animal. Oh shit. Magari comments that she failed, that the synapse was broken, and orders Ayumi to run away. Then Satsuki's head splits apart and she leaps onto Ayumi. Ayumi barely has time to panic as her head is torn off, only the sound of Satsuki's chewing can be heard. That would have been a bullshit wrong ending to get. Winning the battle with only 1 health left gives you a wrong ending. That's stupid. Well, I'm glad that I won. Jesus. Alright, so yeah, maybe that last one in Chapter 10 is a little interesting. But yeah, it seems like I'm not missing out on much. So I guess then that's it for Corpse Party Blood Drive. As for when I'll play Corpse Party 2, which I think is the only remaining Corpse Party game that I haven't played, I did a little bit of research on it. It turns out that it's episodic and only has Chapter 1 released right now. I have no idea how many it's supposed to have, but I'm not going to play it until the whole thing is out. Whenever that is, I have heard that the developers behind Corpse Party are more focused on, I think, like a console release of the original game, which, fine, but maybe someday they'll start working on Corpse Party 2, which it being called Corpse Party 2 is interesting. All I know about it is that it takes place at a hospital and follows some white-haired girl. I don't know anything else about it, but hey, one day I will play it whenever it comes out. But for now, that's the end of Corpse Party. Yay. I don't regret playing Blood Drive, but I do think that the game ended up being wildly unnecessary to the lore. I feel like it should have definitely gone in a different direction, away from this overt real-world occult stuff, away from Misuto, Magari, the idea of the Nirvana, Sachi, Queen. Like, if they had ignored all of that and focused on the cast we already had, maybe throw in Aiko, since she was already there, give us more about Azusa and Ron and whatever that school was called. Ron didn't even show up. There was no, I'm surprised there was no EX chapter about Azusa and Ron. Also, no mention of Nana and the, fuck, what are her friends' names? Nari and Chihaya, I believe? No mention of them. No mention of the Byakudan kids outside of EX Chapter 1 and 3. And yeah, even with, like, the callbacks of the 4 main dead characters showing back up, Shishido didn't, outside of that one wrong ending. Like, she was always mentioned, but, like, there was Mayu in Chapter 1, there was, Morishige in Chapter 4, and there was, Seiko in Chapter 9. I think it was 9, right? Was it 8 or, I think it was 9. Because 8 was just cutscenes, yeah, so it was Chapter 9. But yeah, I feel like this game definitely had a lot more potential that they really did squander, but I do not think the game itself is awful, just more awkward with a lot of missed potential and tonal shifts that I think hurt the story. I think the story is the worst part. The gameplay wasn't great either, but I can kind of look past it. I don't know, this game feels like it was too experimental for its own good. So, yeah. One thing I will say, though, one big positive about this game that I've kind of been stewing on, because I didn't want to immediately say it after beating the main story, and I feel like it's definitely a hot take. Water. But this game made me completely flip my opinion on Ayumi, like a 180. In the first game, I fucking hated her. Like, everything she did was dumb, and the entire events of the game were her fault. Aside from, like, the kids from other schools being there, like, Byakudan kids, Nana and her friends. Well, those were the only ones that existed at that point. Oh, wait, no, Naho. I mean, things were also Naho's fault, but she actually got retribution and was a likable enough character in the first game. Everything Ayumi did in the first game was fucking stupid. Everything. And I think the game kinda knew that. I don't think the game really tried to make Ayumi likable, because there was that one wrong end of Chapter 5, where she just goes fucking full yandere mode for Satoshi, and murders Naomi, and burns her burns her fucking charm piece. Which, I think that was a well-written wrong ending, but not because Ayumi was a likable character, but it's because she wasn't. And also, so many of the wrong ends in the first game were more or less Ayumi torture porn. Like, there was the one where she gets split in half if you do things wrong in Chapter 2. There was the one where she gets stuck in the pool drain, which is still the fucking funniest shit to me. There was the Victim's Memoirs one in Chapter 2. Even in the Chapter 5 one, where she does kill Naomi, she's basically condemned to living there by herself until she dies, presumably of suicide, because her only way out is gone. Satoshi's affected by the darkening, Yoshiki's affected by the darkening, Naomi's dead, Yuka's dead, everyone else is dead. Kazami's dead, there's no one else that she can escape with, so she's condemned to doom. But, yeah. And then Book of Shadows didn't really do much with her. Oh yeah, also in the first game, she was always just like a device to get possessed and do dumb shit with. Like, they just treated her like the token crazy bitch character, which made her a fun character to voice, I'll admit, but I did not like her as a character at all. Book of Shadows didn't really change much, because I'm pretty sure she did still get possessed at one point in that game, and she hardly really did anything until the end of the game, which was, like, kinda commendable, but she still hella fucked it up, and she should have tried to seek retribution for her friends in some other way rather than trying to bring them back. But I don't hold that against her as much as everything she did in the first game. Birthday Bash also kind of did nothing for her, because it just retreaded old comedic ground, really, and also focused a hell of a lot on characters other than her. I don't remember her being much of a focus outside of, what, the fucking dating show episode, the dating show chapter, and the, fucking, what was it called? The fucking cooking one? Was she important in the cooking one? I don't know. But, like, Blood Drive made her much more likable by showing that she is able to feel remorse for her actions. And she's trying to solve everything. She's trying to fix everything that she basically fucked up, but it just leads to her fucking more shit up. And she gets erased from existence because of it. And I think that's a fair ending for her. Maybe she shouldn't have been erased from existence, because I do think she was genuinely likable by the end of this game. Yeah, I think she had decent retribution. I think she solved everything in the best way that she could. And her being a dumbass, I think, helped that. Sure, everything she did in this game was also really fucking stupid. Like believing Magari, believing Misuto, going to fucking Makina's apartment, going back to Heavenly Hosts by herself without Yoshiki, because she trusted Misuto for some fucking reason. And while I think her overcoming her fears was unearned character development, like how she was able to stab herself in the stomach, for instance, and how she was able to face Queen and her abilities with the Book of Shadows, I think all that was unearned, but that was more of a fucking plot convenience rather than anything else. They didn't need to have the Book of Shadows inside of her. They could have made it more believable by, like, making it metaphorically inside of her, and she didn't need to cut it out. Because, again, I don't think it was believable that she'd be able to stab herself in the stomach to save the world. I just don't. But again, she has gone through a lot of pain, so maybe. But yeah, I think she was genuinely likable by the end of the game, and it's mostly every other character that was treated like shit in this game. Yoshiki didn't really do much. I mean, the end of the game for Yoshiki was pretty good. Satoshi didn't really do shit. Naomi didn't really do shit. I do not like Quan. Aiko didn't really do shit. Yuka did fucking nothing. Yuka did nothing except get manipulated by Misuto, get kidnapped by Misuto, and then fall asleep until the last, like, 10 minutes of the game. So, yeah, lovely. She also got possessed by Sachi, and her not wanting to kill her brother is, I guess, interesting, but wasn't there a victim's memoirs thing about that in the first game? I don't remember. But yeah, the game genuinely made me like Ayumi, and that's really the only notable praise I can give it. Because, still on the other hand, I think making Ayumi likable does do more harm to the story than good. Like, her seeking retribution is one thing. Making her good at that is another thing entirely. I also like the general subversion in her character, that she is the class representative, but she's not a perfect person. She's in fact probably the most flawed fucking character in the franchise. She's a fucking idiot. And she's the reason why so many of the bad things happened in the game. So, I can kind of accept that. I think I can accept that. Does that make Ayumi my favorite character in Corpse Party? Maybe by default. I think she really served her purpose well in this game, and that's, again, the only notable praise I can give it. Otherwise, this game was definitely a bit of a slog. The story was fucking nonsense. The new characters sucked. And they didn't do much with a lot of the old characters. I mean, conflict was stupid. Everything was over the top. The gameplay was just a little too non-linear and confusing, especially in Chapter 4. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus Christ. And Chapter 9 and 10 really could have given me problems too if I didn't just get lucky with cutting the corpses down right, and with beating Queen with more than 1 health remaining. But yeah, so I guess it's gonna be it for the series. Yahoo! So that means it's time for me to announce what my next Let's Play is going to be, as if it wasn't kind of obvious from, like, how long ago? 4 months ago, when I posted that hint on Twitter as to what my next 4 Let's Plays at the time would be, not including AI, the Somnium Files, Nirvana Initiative, which at the time were hints for Mortal Kombat Deception, 13 Sentinels, this game, Blood Drive, and the 4th hint, which I'm now officially revealing, but it was obvious from the get-go, to be Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let's go! Scarlet and Violet come out in a month and a half. I have no idea how long it'll take me to beat Legends Arceus. I have no idea how long the game is, but I do not plan to jump into Scarlet and Violet until I complete Legends Arceus. And it might literally be the next game I do after it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this series, guys. If you liked it, then be sure to press the like button. And if you didn't like it, then fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all my videos and on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye! Yeah.